Yes, welcome to our YouTube classes, dear students. Today we are going to discuss about a very important work called Antigone, written by Sophocles. I am Dr. Prashant Mandre from Karnataka. So today I am going to discuss about this drama. So Sophocles, you all know that he was born in 497 BC in Colonus in Attica. He is one of the greatest ancient Greek tragedian. Uh, you know, there are many works he has been written. Especially his popular work is Oedipus Rex. So it is it's become one of the very important work of that time, and he is called as the uh, one of the greatest writer. There are three tragedians comes in that period only. You should remember that writers. It's a very important. First, you see there are three Greek tragedians are there. One is Achilles, and Euripides, and Sophocles. There are the three major tragedians are there who are writing. There were sometimes there is a competitions where happen between Sophocles, Euripides, and Achilles. So here we can see that how these writers are writing. Especially you should read Greek tragedies where the Greek tragedies are portrayed in such a way they have created in such a characters where you still we are remembering. So here, come to our writer. Now, who has written a very wonderful works. He's a great tragedian. First, he has written his important plays Ajax and Antigone. Antigone, today what we are going to discuss about this work. This is one of a great tragedy of this writer, and he is a very important place. Oedipus, sorry, Oedipus Rex. You know, Oedipus Rex is a very important work of Sophocles. So the Sophocles is writing such a wonderful dramas where he is focusing on the human complexities, human emotions, feelings, what happens when the things, you must read this Oedipus Rex because the Antigone is a daughter of Oedipus Rex, where after the death of Oedipus Rex, his sons were fighting for the kingdom, and that is the story of Antigone. So Oedipus is very important character for us. So where he got married with his own mother because of the fate, and what is the punishment he got? He flecked his eyes. He flecked his eyes, and his wife Jocasta, or his mother, she has killed herself. And after that, he went. He has given such a great punishment to him, and he flecked his eyes, and he went away. And after that, what happened? That is the story. So that's why Sophocles is a very important writer. He also developed his characters to a great extent that earlier playwriters how they have written. So that's why it is a very important work uh, of Sophocles. Okay, I've come to the our very important play, that is Antigone. Antigone is a very important play. It's a battle, one of the most famous battle in the Greek mythology. It's grieve out of Oedipus' terrible fate. You know what happened with Oedipus Rex there after that. As how this character has overcome with this moral dilemma. What is important for a human beings. So Antigone is such a great character where it is talking about a moral and ethical ideas here. Come to the play, dear students. There are many important characters are there in this particular play. The Antigone is a Oedipus daughter. She is called as a protagonist of this drama. She is a very, very important character. So Antigone, she is a very important character. You must remember that. And Creon is a king of Thebes. He is a Oedipus' brother-in-law and king of Thebes. Esmene is a Oedipus' daughter. She is a sister of Antigone, and Polynices, Oedipus' son. So the whole story is based on this Polynices there. And Oedipus is another son of Oedipus and human, Creon's son, and who engaged with Antigone. Okay, and Theseus is a blind soothsayer of Thebes. He's a blind. He comes in a Oedipus Rex also. He's continued in this particular play also. Eurydice is a wife of Creon. She is a queen of Thebes. And Sentry and Messenger, two characters are there. Along with that, there is a chorus always comes and they interact with the characters. They are talking about the moral and other ideas, what is right and what is going on there. It is, you should remember these characters first. Antigone is a very, very important. It is about a kingdom. In the beginning of a play, in the they are all gathered. Antigone and Ismene, the daughters of Oedipus, discuss the disaster that had just befallen on them. So there is a disaster thing happened because Polynice and Atulus have died, each other killing the other as they have fought the opposition sides. Polynices and his brother Atulus, they have fighting with each other. They are fighting with each other and they have killed in the battle. So after that, his brother and his brother's uncle Creon is become a king of Creon is become a king of Thebes. So Oedipus' two daughter Antigone and Ismene discuss their griefs in the palace. They start thinking what happened with their life, how they are suffering, why they are suffering. The outraged Antigone tells Ismene that Creon has decreed the slain attackers will not be given proper burial rites to our brothers. Now what happened? Iticulus, who is dependent Thebes, who is dependent, he is fighting with the Thebes Iticulus, and Polynices is our enemy. He is fighting with the other side. So when they are all fighting, Creon tells them, there is not a proper burial rites for the Polonies. Iticulus defended Thebes, that's why we will be buried with a military honor. This fellow, his brother, Antigone is a very close with all both of the brothers. But here, the Creon has ordered that the Polyner's body will let be unburied for animals to eat or to be a rot. Creon has commanded that anyone who attempt to bury Polyner's body will be put to a death. So such a scenario has created. Antigone is not happy with these things. So what happened with his brother? We all know that burial rites, it's very important. After the death, we should do that. All these things after, the burial rites are very, very important. So she thought that Antigone, so we should give such good respect to a person who, whatever he may do in his life, but we should give such the proper respect, he is telling. So now this Antigone, she is trying to bury his brother. Angry and defendant Antigone challenges Ismene to help her bury their brother's Polynice body. Ismene is frightened. Both of the Creon and decrees and of her sister rash towards the word. She begged Antigone. She begs her to think of all the tragedy that has already befallen their family, that to be recognized that they are women with less power than a man. We all know that in all the Sophocles plays, or you read Oedipus Rex, Ajax or uh, this Antigone, the woman don't have such power to go against the king, to go against the power authority. So here she is telling, we cannot go against the king. So Creon has ordered now we should not bury the Paulinus body. We should be let it be. And but she says that they must obey Creon's words. They must obey. Why? Because he is a king. King is another god that time. We must obey his words, whatever it is right or wrong. But now Antigone is not ready to do this. She is thinking what she has to do. She responds to the Ismene to join the glory of burying their brother. If if the Ismene changes her mind, you can come and we can bury because it's a noble thing. We should give a proper burial rites, proper respect to our own brother. Though he did a mistake, but it's okay. We should do that. And Ismene is not ready to do this. Antigone argues that burying a Paulinus is obeying the laws of a god. She tells that burying his body, it is not only of a things, it is the obeying the laws of a god, which demands her brother be given a proper burial rites. You should do, as a human beings, you just think that as a human beings, dear students, we must be more aware of that. What is our inner consciousness, your ideas. Here, though the whole world is against this idea, but here Antigone is telling that we must do this right. And Ismene continues to plead the Antigone, but Antigone only grows angrily with her and more determined to defy Creon's decree. Antigone challenges the Ismene to tell word that what Antigone is about to do. If you are not helping me, it's okay. You should not tell what happened. Their brothers, Polonius and Teucolus, have killed each other. See, these two fellows, they are fighting for a kingdom. Both have killed each other in a fight, in a battle. So this is the thing. What war? If the war is happening, we are losing youngsters. We are losing youngsters. So here they want to control the Thebes, but nobody is there. Both have died now. Both have died. That's the thing. Even when this fellow, then two people have fought and another Creon become a king of the Thebes now. And here we can see that the Creon now rules the city and orders Paulinus, who brought a foreign army against the Thebes, not to be allowed a proper burial rites. Because now see how his body has left, you know, and he's on a field. Antigone comes and she want to help this, she want to bury, but her sister is stopping her because the Creon said that Creon ordered that his body should not allow a proper burial rites. So that's the thing. In the meantime, these things were going on. The conversation between Antigone and Ismene, and they are all talking about the things. In meantime, chorus enters. They are elder citizen of a city, Thebes. They offer a chant of rising sun and tell the battle in which Thebes defeated Polonius and his attacking army on the Agros. They speak of Zeus, the god of a Greek, and who they believed helped to a different Thebes. They are telling that. The chorus is telling how the god comes and he protected the things, and they are all celebrating their victory over the other people. Creon enters and addresses the chorus. Now, in meantime, Ali here, the Creon enters and he talked with a chorus. Okay, here he is telling that Creon explained that after the death of Oedipus' two sons, he is now king and shape of a state is safe. See how he tells there. Shape of a shape of state is safe. You don't worry, I will take care of the Thebes. I will become a king of the Thebes and I will take care of the things. And he is telling that. and he tells that he gives a speech about the character of a leader, how the leader should be, how the leader should take care of a kingdom, how he should help the poor people, how he should make a laws, everything. He is telling that there are some dialogues are there, and they are talking, and he tells about the how policies has to be made, and nothing about the good of the state. He tells that nothing about the good of the state. If the if it is a country is very important rather than any other thing. He said that, and now he declares that Ediclus will receive a burial with a military honor. One of a friend, two brothers, Paulinus is his opponent, his enemy. So Eutychus has received a burial of military honor, but the body of a traitor, this Polinius, will not be dignified with a burial, will instead of left out to a road and obscenity for the citizen of a behold. You should tell them. In the meantime, Sentry enters and he afraid to speak because he brings bad news. Sentry is suddenly one person can he don't know what to tell. In the meantime, Creon, you know, he threatened to kill anyone who tries to bury Apollonius and stations and sentries over his body. And if one of a sentry has entered and he tells that he was afraid to tell that there is a bad news that someone has buried the Polinius' body. Suddenly don't know what happened, and the people he announced that he will kill the person who is doing these things. And the thus the sentry was discovered that someone has gives a Polinius body burial rites. Someone has come and he buried the body of a Polinius. And now the body is not fully buried, but it is covered with a sprinkling of a dry earth. It is not covered. Actually, it is like this, it has been there. But here his body has lain. But it is not covered, fully covered, buried. It is this. The leader of a chorus suggests that it might be the work of a gods. The idea sets Creon into a rage. There are many people. The chorus come and tells that it is a work of a god. He maybe did the things. So, but still they are very upset with the things. And he was in a rage and he was telling that who did this thing? We should find out the person. He accuses the sentry of the having being right to allow the buried rites to take a place. That is a very very important aspect. Okay, so these are the things we should remember and we should talk. Wait a minute. Yes, sorry for disturbance, dear students. Antigone is a spite of Creon's edict, and without the help of her sister Ismena, resolves their brother's proper burial. She went there and she was burying. You can see in this picture how he was laying on the floor, and she comes and she was helping to get the burial uh, burial rites of person. So now alone the god and other fellow is telling that god himself comes and they are helping these things. It's a noble cause, so what people thought. So now the chorus is chanting about the nature of a man. The human can conquer every obstacle expect. It tells that human can conquer everything. He can win over the world, but he cannot win the death. We don't know when it will come. The chorus is chanting about the nature, power of a God, what he can do. When a man makes laws and combine them with the justice of a God, his city will uh, proper and he will become a great. And he felt that all the things were going on here in the ideas. So now this Creon was very upset with the things, and in the meantime, soon a nervous center arrives, and he was telling about the things. He was very upset with the things. How see he was a Creon, and how he was angrily seeing the sentry. He enters that, and he suspect who did this rites. He has to find out, and he's accusing him. He was being he was taken a bribe, and he did that, such a accusation he was doing. And in the meantime, the Santa soon extract himself and catching Antigone in the act of attempting to rebury her brother. The Santa is having disinterested him, while he was going that it, the half the Antigone attempting to rebury his brother. She came, she want to do that. Funeral rites. So funeral rites are very important for a human beings. After the death, you see that how people are doing all these rituals. This is very important to give. As a human being, that person has to be get that respect. That is the idea. So now when the sanctuary returns and they have captured the Antigone and they calls and the Creon and present Antigone as a culprit who defied the law and gave a burial rites to Apollonius. And Creon is doubtful. He was very doubtful. He was not ready to believe that because he was doubtful on Antigone. He asked whether it is the whatever the century is telling the story, it's a right or wrong. And as they watched a sudden things, Creon asks Antigone if she denies this change. She does not. Creon dismissed the century and asked Antigone if she aware of his decree that no one should bury Paulinus. He said that she was fully aware of the things. Now Antigone admits that she did this funeral rites. Now Creon was very upset with the things. Antigone freed confess her act to Creon and say that he himself defies the will of the gods by refusing Paulinus' birth. She was accusing this Creon that you are defying the will of a god. Will of a god means if the burial rites, these are the gods things. She tells that she was not going to break the law of the god to the appease a man. I will not going to break the law of the god for the sake of appease a man. And even news she must die since she has already no much sadness in her life. There are many things, wrong things were going on. She lost her brother, she lost her father, even her sister. Ismene is not supporting her. So there are disastrous things are going on in her life. So that's why she is unable to get that things. So that's why she knows that there are many so much sadness in her life, and she welcomes the death, and it is not afraid of it. She is not afraid of it, and but she could not bear leave her brother to rot. And if the Creon thinks is acting stupidly, she says that because of Creon, he's not a good man. He's a fool. She's called he's a fool because he is going against the will of a god. He's going against the will of a god. He is telling. The leader of the chorus, again, the chorus enters here. The chorus enters, and they are all. Antigone is very passionate and stubborn with her decision, and the Creon responded, he will break her stubbornness, and he refused to let her go free will, which would make it appear and he would be uh, defeated by a woman. And he felt that he was very angry on her because she is not ready to listen, and she did a crime that she went against the king's words, but still she was very strict. He declares that Antigone and her sister, whom he also believes is a guilty, now is Vene, is also believes that she is a she's a guilty, and now they will suffer a terrible death on third country. Now he's telling they will suffer a terrible death. And now Antigone is unfazed and said that die is not to die for the act of bringing honor to her brother will bring her glory. He tells that. It is that it is good. Creon condemned both Antigone and Ismene to death. Even in meantime, Creon asked how Antigone can honor Paulinus, who killed her brother, the patriotic Patroclus. He asked, this fellow asked that, your brother Paulinus, Polynesius, he's killed the patriot, a good person who wanted to save the Thebes. He killed him. So how can you honor this Polynesius? He asked, and she responded, and she tells that all people must be given the same death rights. Not, she tells that all people should all people should given the same death rights. Death, everyone have that right. So she tells that, it's what's God's command. She tells that it's a God's command. So that's why I did the same thing. The Creon's argument that the patriot and the traitor should be treated differently. He tells that the traitor or a patriot, they should be different, treated differently. Antigone says that because they were her brother, she loved both equally. They are my brothers, they are my brothers. So I love them equally. So that is the idea. Creon says she can love them in heads. Ismene enters weeping and saying that she will share Antigone's guilt. But Antigone furiously refuses her. She comes and she tells, against. And now Ismene returned to Creon, ask him he will really kill his sons Hamans. Now in the meantime, you can see that Creon curse yeah, his son Haman came and she's a love life of humans, and she tells that you are killing human's life. She tells that no, Haman will listen my word, son of a Creon. He is telling, you see how the story has turned here. Creon's son is fell in love, is loving Antigone, and now he vows Antigone and tells, if you are killing this girl, your son will be suffer. And in meantime, again chorus comes and chant the tragedy that ruined the house of Oedipus. She tells the thumbs and is to tell the Creon, it is that. So how what happened with the Oedipus? See how Oedipus tragedy and ruined the house of Oedipus. You should remember that. The chant ends when Haman's son Creon enters and he's weeping. He comes and he tells, what's going on here. He don't know. He don't know what to do. He don't know how to pretend Antigone because she went against the laws of a king, and now he should obey. Either he should obey his father, or either he go with his love. Is the dilemma whether how to things. So that's why now this Antigone and his son Haman, they don't know. And Creon asks Haman if he anger or obedience. He tells Haman says he will obey Creon. Creon is pleased with his son's decision. He deliver a lecture on a son obedience to his father and the importance of not losing one's head over a bad woman. You know why? Because Antigone is a bad woman now. In his eyes, she become a criminal. She went against the God, and he is such an egoistic man. He is not ready to listen anybody. Creon says that he has not punished Antigone deficiency of a rule of a law. It would be like inviting anarchy to destroy the city. If I am not punishing this girl, it would invite anarchy because the people will not listen the words. What I have ordered, I ordered that Pauline's body should not be buried, but she did a crime. Whatever the things, he was very furious and she was things. And now, again, the leader of a chorus says that this sounds sensible. He says, yes, it's sensible. But Heman tells Creon that it is not his place to correct the king, but that the rumors in their street, that the people are sympathetic to the Antigone, the people are afraid of a Creon, but they believe whatever the Antigone did. You know what? He is telling to his father that whatever the, I may not correct you, I may not in that position to correct you or to tell something to you, but in Thebes, all the people are sympathized about King Antigone. The people are afraid of Creon, but they believe Antigone should be allowed to bury her brother. Should be. See how people are thinking, he is conveying. He plead with his father not to be so rigid, not to be so rigid and things. You should allow her to be buried. Give mercy to the Antigone. Creon reacts with anger at his son offering advice. How can you advise? Again, he calls Antigone is a traitor. Haman says the people of Thebes do not see it that way. They are not saying that way. They felt that it is right. You know what she did? She is not doing any crime things. She is not going against the things. But she loves her brother, and she is doing that funeral rites, which is very very important. It is the law of God. God has given that things. So now the people of Thebes do not see it in that way. She is not a traitor. So the king and the son continues to argue with each other. There is arguing with the things. Haman supporting Antigone against his father. Haman responded that he is trying to keep his father from committing an injustice. He's committing an injustice to Antigone, or it is injustice with the people of Thebes. If she is doing such, he is doing such things, and the argument grew up more heated, and Creon himself hurled stronger and stronger insult his son. He start insulting his son. Creon saw Scar scolding this fellow, and he don't know what to do. He has come out, and Haman threatened that Antigone's death will cause another death. He tells them, if she died alive, it is caused the another death. So he loves her a lot. He has connected with her. He engaged with her. That love, here somewhere Sophocles wanted to present that love and affection between human and the Antigone. What is going on? So Antigone's condition, you see her life, how it is. She lost her father. She lost her brothers. Her sister is not supporting her, and even her lover, human, is supporting, and he was telling. At last, human rushes away and saying that Creon will never see him again. It was fight. He will not see me again. I will go. Third, he frustrated and he went away from the things. And the leader of the chorus worries that human may do something violent. He may do. No, the chorus always comes and try to awaken this Creon, but Creon is not ready to listen. And he tells that even he doesn't care about these things. He decides to spare Ismene, but that he will not take Antigone into the wilderness, enclose with her with a vault. And I with a he was punished. She has been sent to a jail. She is not giving a proper food there. She is getting a very a bit of a food to be survive there, and either a god she seems to love, death will save her. She may learn at last what a waste of a breath is it is to worship death. She tells in that things. Chorus offers a chant about a love, the love between human and Antigone, a force that cannot be conquered, and taunt the people, make them do crazy things. And now the chorus, heartbroken at the sight of the sea. They have broken down. Antigone lament on her fate. She was upset. She laments. her fate, that fact she will never experience the joy of a marriage. She wanted to become a wife. She wanted to produce a children. She wanted to become a mother. But her fate, it is different. She further laments that horror of her coming death. She felt very bad about her this, what crime she did. She buried, her, her brother. Is it a crime? For that, she is getting such a great punishment. And now the chorus tells she went too far in her protest and wonder if she is continuing to suffer to the sins of her father Oedipus, what he did. The people are telling that, his father has did a great sin because he got married with his own mother, Jocasta. So that is the a crime they did. Because of that, the Antigone is suffering. So the people always like that. They are connecting the things and they are telling the things. And your own blind will, your passion has destroyed you. That tells. And the chorus tells Antigone, your own blind will, your own blind will, your passion has destroyed you. Your passion has destroyed you. You see that. You know how they are telling, destroyed you. Telling, your passion destroyed you. And Creon enters and tells the guard to interrupt her lament, to take her away, build a tomb and place it in her, build a tomb and keep her inside her. Antigone continues to mourn her life and death. She says that she would have not have done what she did, disobey the law to bury her brother for a husband or a children, because one may find another husband or another child, but because her parents are dead, she will never have another brother. You see how, how they are telling was burying the blind. Even a meantime, Antigone is talking other things. So how the chorus chant about the figures of mythology who were alive on that time. All of them were king and children of a god, and they how at even they could not escape their fates. The fate is a very vital role in a tragedy. Most of the tragedy you take Oedipus Rex, Alexa, Antigone, or this Agamemnon, or in a epic. You take all the epics, their fate is a very vital role. Here, what is the fate of a Polonius or Oedipus or Antigone? So how it is affecting on them? Even they are telling that the chorus is telling that the Antigone cannot escape her from that, because there are many kings, many great literary figures, sorry, mythological figures have suffered. They have suffered a lot. You take Oedipus, yes, the example of his father. So how the fate has did that. He has to get married with his own mother. So what punishment he got in the end? He plucked his own eyes. Jocasta, his mother, had killed herself. So that's the thing. In a meantime, the thing was going on. In meantime, the blind prophet, the enters led by a young boy, and Creon greets him and argues to follow Theseus' advice. And Theseus warns Creon that his turning point, that Polonius' body must be buried. Tells that Polonius to be buried. You see here. But the Creon refuses this. Theseus predicts that the god will bring down the curse upon the city if the things. He has a very, very vital role in Oedipus Rex also. He has a very, he comes and he tells that the whoever killed the god, he has not king, he has not punished, because of that the plague came to the Thebes. He said in the beginning of the play, Oedipus. So here in this play also he tells that you know the gods will bring down the curses upon the city if you are doing such things, and his body must be buried. He tells. There's to tell Creon not to be stubborn in his decision to refuse the bury Polonius. Instead, he should see himself as the only human being and capable of making mistakes. Think as a human being, Atana. Think as a human beings. You know, human beings make mistakes. They make mistakes. Forgive him. Forgive him and let Polynesius' body has to be buried. What's wrong in that? Why you are worrying too much? And Creon flies into a rage. You know, he was become very angry. Cursing Tarsus, you know, and swearing that the body will never be buried. Yes. He accuses Tarsus of false prophecy and accepting a bribe. He tells, you know, you have taken a bribe. You are a false man. You don't know anything. You are telling. And he curses all prophets as a power hungry is that. Telling you are power hungry man. You are not. Tarsus now reveals that full secret he knows. He says that the gods alone hold sway over the death, and the mortals may rule over the living. Mortals may rule over the living. He says that the punishment of burying Antigone alive, the god and the Furies will soon take the life of a Creon's own child. He tells that they will take your son's life. He told the truth, but Creon was very, very, very upset and tells Creon is shaken by the prophet words but reluctant to undo his decrees. He asked the leader to a chorus for advice. The leader of the chorus tells that the free Antigone and bury Polonius quickly. Fearful Creon gives in. Now suddenly he asks, you know, the words of Thyrsis strike fear into the hearts of the Creon and the people of Thebes, and Creon reluctantly goes to a free Antigone from the tomb where she has imprisoned. But this change heart comes too late. Now he wanted to free Antigone because if he has listened the words he want to free the Antigone, but it's too late. Already it's late. You know that is the thing. You know most of the in tragedies, you know, they have taken late decisions. Late decisions. You can take in a Hamlet also. In a Hamlet also, he is unable to take a decision there. He is unable to take a decision at a right time. Because of that, he lost everyone. He lost his lover. He lost his brother. His followers and his friends. Even his mother, he lost in the end. So, in most of the tragedies, not only in things, there are in many tragedies of Greek literature or in epics, they have taken late decisions. So a messenger arrives with a terrible news now. He wanted to free Antigone, but he comes. A messenger came. Uh, he comes and he is telling and recounts the tragic event. He was telling that him and the lover of Antigone, Antigone, him has killed his husband. News. You reside in meantime his Eurydice is queen of Athens. She was mother of Haman. Oversees the convention and asks the messenger to tell her what happened. The messenger says that all the Creans first went to a bury Polynesius. Just were finishing. They went all the people with the Creon. They went and they are burying the things. They went in a saw Antigone hanging from the nose and Haman ravishing. Creon's son then took a sword and thrust it all the father, missing his turn and a sword against himself and died, embraced Antigone's body. Died. He was dying. That is a love, you know, dear students. You must understand that. If you loved someone really, You are ready to sacrifice your life also. The same thing happened in Greek tragedies, and you go back to the ancient writers. They are all writing about the importance of a love. For the sake of a love, they have sacrificed their life. What happened with the Romeo and Juliet, what happened with the Cleopatra, Antony and Cleopatra, what happened with the Rama Sita. You can go and think. So how they are all thinking. Creon has attended enter. Creon is carrying human's body in his hand and is almost mad with the grief. Mad. And Creon wives, you hears the terrible news and rushes away into the palace, sees a wife him, and Creon enters carrying human's body and willing against his own tyranny, which knows he has caused his son's death. He has caused. Now see the the fate, how Creon was thinking. There are many people. This is the thing that happens. The peripetia, what he has talked. You have to read Aristotle's Poetics. In that he said that. So how characters are not ready to listen the words. There are many such stories are there. You can read Dr. Faustus. There are good angels and bad angels comes and they want to convince the Dr. Faustus to not to sell his soul, but he's not ready to listen. The Creon is also like that. There are many who people came and they want to convince him not to kill Antigone because of her acts, but he's not ready to listen because that ego is not allowing him to listen these things. So now, because of his uh, decision, he betrays himself, calling himself his son killer and his son of the victim of the Creon's stupidity. His the stupidity he tells. And the messenger tells Creon that he has another reason to grieve. He tells and he comes and he is telling there is another bad news that it was affected him a lot. Eurydice is a wife of him, stabbed herself. She has stabbed. See the thing in the end. Creon lost his brother. He whatever the mistake he did, he has corrected that. He went and he buried the body of Polyneices and Antigone has died. Now his son has been died now. Now he comes and he listens that he lost his wife. She stabbed herself and she has died. She called down the curses on her husband for the misery he's fried and caused. Creon kneels and prays that he too might die. He guards led him back into the palace. They are taking him back into the palace. That is the thing where in the Handley he was suffering. Creon called for his attendant to take him away. He says that I don't even exist. I am no one, nothing. But how he has telling the last words of him. I don't even exist. I am no one, nothing, it has. Creon says that he has murdered his son and his wife. He's led off stage by his attendant. The chorus and the remarkable that the proud he led low by the fate and wisdom is gained through the suffering. It's very, very important. You see here, wisdom is gained through suffering. Suffering is a very, very important. If you did something in your life, if some mistakes, some crimes, and if you are living there, you should suffer. The suffering, they are carrying that pain throughout her life. So what are the mistake? What happened with the Macbeth? What happened with the the King Lear? See that how they have suffered a lot for their actions. Their action has been affected. Their actions, their decisions, they that makes them to fall. Not the fate on all the things. What the type? Here in this particular story, Creon is not ready to listen the other words. Antigone, yes, she went against the words of a king, but even she is in a moral side. What is the moral ideas? How these things are going on. So even what are the themes of this particular Like the pride. There is no question that pride is the context of Antigone. Is a trait despised by the gods and punished without mercy. In Antigone, Sophocles describes the type of a pride that allows men to create laws that substitute for divine principles. They are all talking. He is writing about the pride. See here, Creon felt that he was a very, very, even you read Dr. Faustus, in that he has introduced seven deadly sins in that particular one, in one particular scene. The pride is a first sin. How people are very proud about themselves. They are thinking about ego. They have whatever they are telling is right, whatever I am taking decision is right, everyone follows my words. Such ideas will punish the things. Even the individual versus states, conscience versus laws, moral or divine versus human beings. These are the three very important themes of Antigone. Individual versus state. So, what is very important, your own ideas or the state ideas? What we have to take now? The Antigone goes with her ideas, the individual ideas, because she loves her brother and she wants to bury him. She is not helping him to take revenge on his brother and anybody. She is doing a very important burial rites. And even these three conflicts are very closely related in this particular work. Even you can see that Antigone and her values line up with the first entity to each pair, while Creon and his values line up with the second. Conscience versus law. The law, conscience it won't allow. Conscience is very, very important part it is. The Antigone continues to be a subversive and powerful play and the inspiration for a generation of rebels and dissident. See, it's very important, dear student, you must understand that moral or divine law versus human laws. So, what is important? What God has given, how He has created the world. What are the laws are there? The divine laws, what are the divine laws and how these human beings have created the things. Human being, you can't go to you see in this world, you go to Saudi Arabia, you go to Europe, you come to the Asia. So different culture, different human laws are there. So how it has been created? What are the moral and divine law and human laws? There is a difference. So that's why here we can see that how it has been impacted on this particular world. So another very, very important theme of this play is gender, the position of a woman. The Antigone's gender has profound effect on the meaning of her actions. Creon himself say that need to be defeat her is all the more pressing because she is a woman. He tells that defeating her is very, very important. She went against him. I am a male, I am a king, I made a law, I told that no one should bury the Polonius body, and but she is not ready to listen that. Even the freedom of a Greek woman was extremely limited. Even in this idrali, the woman is, and she don't have a freedom. She don't have a words. She don't have a voice. She can't go against the law or society. That's very, very important. So you should understand this. Woman was extremely limited. She was extremely. She don't have a. Even one of us seen Alice Mene, and she was convincing that we are humans. There are many disaster things are going on with them, on us, and we don't have a power to speak about these things. She tells that. See the condition of a woman there. How helpless she is. She even can't take her own decisions. Why Creon wanted to kill her? Because he wanted to defeat her because she is a woman. So that is the main thing here in this particular play. So then, were a great, even the rules and the structures placed on them were great even for the ancient world. So that is the thing. So that's why Antigone is presented such a condition of a woman on that time. Even in ancient time, not only in India, not only in Europe, not only in Greek, woman has second, and she has been treated in a different way. So that's why this play is talking about these things. Even there is another very important theme of this play is divine law versus human law. The core conflict pits the unwritten, eternal laws of a god which demanded burial rites against the creon's man-made decree asking which holds ultimate authority. Notice, here they are different. So see, eternal laws of a god, what is that? Demand burial rights. Everyone have a right. So every human being is very, very important here. Every human being has to be treated in a right way. Even in Indian mythology, you see that in our culture, we give more importance to the funeral rites. Why we are giving such respect? Because we are respecting that fellow. Whatever he did in his life, whether he is a good man or a bad man, or whether he did crimes or mistakes or other things, we will forgive everything after the death. We tell that he already died. Why you are talking about these things? Okay, let it be. And now we will forgive everyone and we will do that all that funeral rites. Funeral rites now we are all doing. So that's why here also the divine law versus human laws, human man-made, especially Creon man-made decree is that you should not bury him. So this is the conflict. It is not only about a one person's burial or the Antigone is going against the things. It is about your the question of a moral ideas. So how you are reacting to the things. So, dear student, you must understand these things. Though Antigone is a very, very beautiful play, it's a beautiful tragedy. So, if you are going against the will, against the moral ideas, so what happens? So here we remember Antigone and everyone, the state of things are praising her. Everyone is talking about her, even the chorus, there's everyone comes and tells that Antigone is right. So that's the thing. So you must understand that how the divine law versus the human law has been presented in this particular play. So dear students, the Antigone is a very beautifully constructed uh, play where he's talking about the moral ideas, ethical ideas, the emotions, feeling, love, affection, kingdom, king polishes, everything. The whole play is constructed with all the ideas. So that's why you have to be read this. You go thoroughly about this play. Read original text. It's a very wonderful dialogues are there. Which is gives you the more knowledge. You will get that. So the Antigone is a very, very well written play of Sophocles. Okay, if you have any queries, you can put a message in a group, dear students. We'll discuss there. Okay, till then, thank you. I'll come up with another videos. If you like the videos, please share this with your friends or ask them to be self subscribe. Okay, thank you. Thank you.